Hi, I'm Sue Pilkilton. I'm the executive director of the Helen Keller Birthplace. I've been at the birthplace for 55 years, so really I've dedicated my whole life to the legacy and to the home. When I was a very young student at Deshler High School, our English teacher said, if you'll go visit the birthplace of Helen Keller, it was right after we studied the miracle worker, I'll give you 100 extra points. Well, me being the middle child, I've always tried to please everyone, and I certainly wanted to please my English teacher. So on that Sunday afternoon in April, I walked in to the front door, and Miss Maddie Hurston greeted me and gave me a tour. And as she talked about Helen Keller and her legacy, I literally fell in love with it at that moment. And I never dreamed that I would ever work there. But that summer, my dad's friend asked him if I would like to work in the gift shop. And I started working at the birthplace in the gift shop for $1 an hour. And so I continued working there in the summer and then on weekends through my high school years. And after that, Miss Lurleen Cook asked me, would I like to be a hostess? And so I took on that job and worked as a hostess for several years. And then she started giving me a little more leeway on helping her, and I became her assistant. And then in 1981, I was asked to be the executive director of the birthplace. You know, every day I go to work. Well, I really don't know if you would consider it work because I love what I do. But when I see people that walk through the doors that they've just learned that their child is deaf or blind or going deaf and blind, the motivation that they have and to be inspired by Helen Keller's story. And, you know, I see people from all over the world that walk through our doors. Last year we had all 50 states and 33 foreign countries. And, you know, Helen Keller's birthplace is not on the interstate, so you have to know where you're going in order to get there. But the inspiration of just watching people come and see their expression on their face. And, you know, when we have a blind person to come to the Keller home, we take them into the different rooms and let them touch and feel, because blind people see through touch, and their expressions are just priceless. Well, being at the Helen Keller birthplace for 55 years, I hope that they realize that when you are affiliated or work somewhere, you have to have a love and a dedication in what you're doing, because if you don't have that, you'll never last. And so I hope that they'll say, boy, she gave her life to the legacy of Helen Keller. You know, as being the executive director and being a part of a 501c3, you know, we have a lot of, I call it stress, because we have to rely on visitors to come through the Keller home. And I always tell my ladies and the gentlemen, you know, we've got to make everyone feel welcome. We may have to stay overtime, but we want them to be able to go back and say, boy, you need to go to the birthplace and experience the tour and the home. And that's what I would like for everyone when they leave the Helen Keller birthplace, to be a positive, give us great remarks, and pass on Helen Keller's legacy.